What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. We're actually out here in San Diego and we're just driving around, but today I actually want to leave you guys off with a message, something to take into your entrepreneurship journey, something I wish I knew throughout my whole 5 years of growth operating, getting into the info product space, and also just growing as an entrepreneur. One of the biggest things that I've noticed, I'm about to hit somebody. Hold on. I don't know how this is gonna go. So one of the biggest things and biggest lessons that I've learned, and even just coming onto YouTube, is there's never going to be a perfect time to start, whether that's your business, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's any online business venture or just business venture as a whole. And one of the biggest things that for me, where I messed up and where I looked at where I'm at in this journey, nothing was ever perfect. Going into a business, going into a client's business, or even getting into growth operations, it didn't actually happen from being perfect. I didn't have a perfect offer. I didn't have a perfect outreach script. I honestly didn't know how to really execute, but the whole goal was to just start. And sometimes it gets pretty hard to just start, I would say, and execute on the things that you might be thinking of, or the plans or ideas that you might have inside of your head. But I think overall, if you can just get started with something, you know, posting that one piece of content, outreaching to certain clients, maybe certain people, asking what they do, and just getting in the door to actually start is the key thing to be able to, just get your journey out there. For me, I started this YouTube channel probably 2 3 weeks ago, and this is probably the fourth or fifth video that's going up on my channel. And one of the biggest things for me was I've always wanted to start YouTube. I would reach out to Zay all the time to just record videos and have it edited a certain way from some certain editor. Thumbnail had to look a certain way, but overall, one of the biggest things that I could do now in this journey is look over the mistakes, look over the things that what I thought was perfect at the time, and be able to make changes to it. And sometimes that happens in your entrepreneurship journey. For what I teach or what I do in course creation, growth operating, is that most people think there's going to be a perfect offer out there. And really, what it is just having enough exposure and enough people to tell you what they actually want to see from you to actually create something that's going to be better, right? There was never a perfect offer coming into this business, I would say. But obviously, you have your due diligence and your strategies. But in entrepreneurship, if it was perfect, and most people think it is, everybody would be doing it. Simple as that. So what I want to leave off with you guys today, just overall, is get started with any journey that you guys get into. When it comes to this growth operation space, how I got started was I got into the business, and I actually met my client through um, following mutual friends through social media. And at the time, I came in as a sales manager. At the During that time as a sales manager, I was trying to figure things out. I added my strategies into his business, and we were able to implement and execute on actually making money. So we doubled the business in 30 days. However, when it came to the time when I got into growth operating, the whole thing about it was I never actually operated a business. I think one of the things for me was I just wanted to go out there and experience more. I knew I could add more value into this person's business. And really, where it started was actually just starting, just asking. So, for those that are, hey, you can add value into someone's business, you could, change someone's business and add more revenue. You need to go out there and just start. For me, I made up an offer. I gave him three different options, and he was like, I love everything that we're doing already in the business. Let's go ahead and take it to that next step and that next level. So I came into growth operations as as a sales manager, and then moved my way up to now where I've been operating at this business for 2 years. But it all started from me actually just asking and actually executing on what I believed in I could confidently do. So, some of you guys might be sitting there and you have this idea that's been sitting on your mind and you guys been thinking about that a lot lately. Overall, the goal is to just get started. And I'm going to continue to say that because there's some of you guys that are making excuses for yourself to say, you know what, maybe I have the best idea, I have the best product, but no one knows about you. If I never started this YouTube channel, if I never started posting content again, I wouldn't have the results, the flowers of the seeds that I planted. And I sat and for 2 years off the camera and realized there's a lot of value that I could add to this marketplace, a lot of value I could add to this platform. And now we've been able to help other people become growth operators and other business owners be able to make more money throughout their whole business. So whether that's in just in business, that's also in life. There's never going to be a perfect time to start, but overall, you have to be fine with just actually doing it. You know, there's going to be people telling you, hey, you need to do it this certain way. You need to buy this person's mentorship before you do all of this. You have to go out there, go through the field work, go through the trenches, because all it is being able to create your own story, your own journey, and your own testimonial that comes from all of this. You know, I didn't have the perfect journey of being an entrepreneur. I went through times where I sold shoes, camped out at releases, and literally sat in the cold for hours just to receive nothing. Maybe the shoe sold out, maybe I couldn't get the item, or anything like that. The next thing was going into drop shipping. I didn't understand how to take it to the next level. All I knew was buy products as they were selling, but never actually how to teach it or turn it into a brand. So coming into course creation, I created my own program. And there's a lot of things when you come into this business. It's not always just an uphill road. And it's crazy, we're driving on an uphill road right now. But you're going to have ups and downs, but it's going to make you better as an entrepreneur, better as a person, and better as a leader. And this is my story of how I actually got into growth operations and just starting as an entrepreneur. Is I had to go through all the headaches, all the hard work. It's not hard work when you actually love what you do. So go out there, pray about it, have faith throughout this whole journey, because you never know where it's going to lead you. I'm not saying I'm the perfect entrepreneur or, I've done things the right way. I'm just still figuring it out. But that's the blessing about entrepreneurship. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect along this whole journey. You just have to go out there, test new things, try it. It's like any business. It's like life in general. It's with anything. Like I could relate it to fitness, right? You don't just go to the gym and all of a sudden the next day you have a six pack. You could just bench 235 pounds, whatever it is, right? So the whole goal is you have to go in there, get the reps, go through the work, and actually turn up. Like, you're going to go through all the lessons, but all those lessons, don't ever look at it as a failure, because it's not unless you give up. So we're actually out here in San Diego. We came out here for a weekend, and one of the biggest things is just like being able to travel, being able to have freedom, time freedom, and being able to work wherever we want, because that's what we do it for. You know, if you come into entrepreneurship and you're just only looking at the money, you need to look at it for a different reason. Why we do what we do and why we show up every single day is because we have stronger reasons on why we started. You know, why I started growth operating or getting into the business of info. One, I saw opportunity, and then two, I saw there was leverage that you can have. Being able to be a growth operator, it allows you to build skill sets to be able to take to other businesses, whether that's still in the coaching space or to service businesses or even traditional businesses. But overall, you have to go out there, try new things, and do the work to get to where you want to be. You know, we're out here in California chilling for the weekend, and came out here just to really just vibe, and get some content. But you know, coming out here was just more exposure, and sometimes you need that throughout your entrepreneurship journey as you continue to grow, as you continue to build. There's certain milestones that you need to have within, you know, your entrepreneurship journey, and you have to go out there and spend the money, like spend the money to go see more. We're out here, this is probably the next place that I want to move to, and the reason why is I love this place. I've been here for a minute and I'm about to miss the exit because of y'all, but fuck, I missed the exit. Damn. Okay. But overall, um, that's what comes with entrepreneurship, is just the freedom. Like, we're out here, we're chilling, we're gonna be out here for the weekend, and then we're gonna be out in DC by the end of this month, going to Utah next month in January. So you gotta come out and expose yourself to new levels, new things, and get out of your normal environment that makes you feel comfortable. Like being uncomfortable to, you know, stay in nice places, drive nice cars, and just see more is what's going to allow you to keep on hitting new targets. You know, I'm someone that makes multiple five figures a month, but I'm never comfortable or satisfied because I know there's more out there. I've been able to expose myself to a lot of new things, be around the right people, and that's what has allowed me to grow fast, but also be able to know that there's a lot more for me. And that's the same thing that, you know, if you're still watching this video, the same thing for you. There's a lot more in store for where you're at currently. And really, all you have to do is start. Don't wait until the new year, January 1st, to get started on the ideas that you currently have. You need to go out there and start now, so that way you're able to learn a lot faster. So, if you guys like this video and want me to do more of these, obviously, hopefully I don't miss the exit next time. But overall, if you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Patrick Kim. I'm a growth operator. I help people become growth operators, and I help other businesses scale by partnering up behind the scenes and helping them build out virtual events such as webinars or challenges and take them to the next level. And we've been able to work with a lot of clients and take them to that 7-figure or even 8-figure mark. So, you know, if there's anything to leave you off today, is that keep faith throughout the whole journey and just get started. Don't wait till it's perfect, and make your way till you feel like it is, because one thing that's stopping you is yourself.